Hi guys, welcome to another beer review, and today we're going back over to the Mikkeller brewery, a brewery who I've absolutely fallen in love with. I know they've been around for ages, but it's only been this year, 2017. Great way to make your video irrelevant, Peter. But yeah, it's only been this year where I've finally got to try some of their beers properly, because I was obviously living in Germany and it was quite hard to get hold of them. And yeah, so I tried the Mikkeller beer mail that they do, where they send you 8 beers. I did that the first time in August, and I was really impressed with what they sent me. So people were kind enough to click my referral link, so that meant that I could get money off another box. And so I thought, with Christmas coming up, again, way to age your video, Pete, I thought, you know what? Let me get some beers for Christmas. And yeah, so this is from the December beer mailbox. So if you're interested by this, I will put the Mikkeller playlist down below. If you're interested with this concept, then check out that referral link down below. Get yourself 25% off your own order, and it helps me out as well, and it helps me produce more videos for the channel. So everybody wins, and I'm not just saying it because I get slightly cheaper beer, which I kind of am saying that, let's be honest. But yeah, I don't think I've had a bad beer from Mikkeller yet. I mean, I've only had like not even the tip of the iceberg of what they've released this year alone. And they've got the reputation for a reason. And yeah, so I've been very, very impressed, and hopefully that will continue. So today we are looking at the Mikkeller Gammel Dansk flavoured lager. So from my understanding, Gammel Dansk is a sort of, it's not a liqueur, it's a spirit. And it's usually used for like celebrations, if that makes sense. I probably completely misremember this. Did do a little bit of research on it. And it's sort of like a slightly spiced spirit. And the name of it translates to Old Danish or something along those lines. I'm not too sure what the equivalent to that would be, what's available here in the UK. I don't know why I'm thinking of Buckfast, even though I've never had Buckfast in my life, although I want to try Buckfast. But I'm always intrigued with like regional and traditional spirits from around the world, so I'd love to be able to give this an actual try or something similar to it. But yeah, so it's a beer that's been flavoured with this, or blended. Not too sure if this is a direct collaboration, although I will be crediting both Mikkeller and Gammel Dansk, because it does actually have Gammel Dansk's website on the label. And how many times can I say Gammel Dansk? What a fun word that is to say, actually, Gammel Dansk. I know I've completely mispronounced that, so any Danish people watching this, I do apologise. But anyway, so yeah, so this is a lager clocking in at 6% ABV. Fantastic artwork as per usual from Keith Shaw. I remembered it this time. One of my favourite artists in general. What he creates for Mikkeller, there's just something about that brewery, their presence. You know, those guys, and Tuol, and you know, Copenhagen, and like European cities, and it's just there's just something really mesmerising about it all. And I'd love to go to Copenhagen, not for obviously for the main reasons, but just it looks like such a beautiful city and very friendly people. And yeah, there's something about European cities that have this like blend of history but also really contemporary and forward thinking when it comes to culture. I mean, living in Germany for 7 years was, you know, phenomenal. That blend of old and new, tradition, contemporary, and of course Germany had and still has such an exciting beer scene. But we're not here to talk about Germany. We're here to talk about Mikkeller. And yeah, that was a very awkward transition. So yeah, 330ml bottle, Lovely looking label. Hopefully I can take that off. And it's actually got on the neck, I'm guessing that is like the seal that you would find on an actual bottle of Gammel Dansk. So if anybody's tried it, let me know your thoughts, opinions on it. And the best before date is the 7th of the 3rd, 2019. So got quite a shelf life. And I don't know if you can see that, but that's got a nice bit of haze in the bottle. So without any further ado, let's get this opened and see what we get. Nice little bit of smoke burn. Not sure if my camera's picking it up. Oh well. So let's pour it out. It's actually coming out quite a lot in terms of smoke. So I have really no idea what to expect with the flavourings of this beer. I'm not really a spirits person anyway. I become quite silly when I'm on spirits. But I say that it's only wine and champagne that turns me into literally a sobbing, pathetic mess for no reason whatsoever. But anyway, we won't talk about that. Beer in a glass then, and that is a lovely hazy, nearly smashed the glass in, hazy sort of orangey amber colour. Lovely delicacy to it. Nice haziness in the middle. My brain's just shut off halfway doing this review. And yeah, beer poured with about one finger's worth of a brilliant white head. So it's got that sort of lager look to it, but it does have more of a slightly pale ale sort of vibe. So I don't think they've like abused this with hops. I think it's just primarily been added. The Gammel Dansk has been added into it. But yeah, I could go on and on about why I'm not the biggest fan of pale ale. I mean, lagers and pilsners that have been like hopped as if they were a pale ale, because 9 times out of 10 I've found you just end up drinking like a really light-bodied pale ale, and it's like, why didn't you just make a pale ale? But that's a gripe for a different day. Anyway, beer looks really nice. Let's see what we get on the aroma. There are some familiar aromas in there that aren't like your typical malty, crisp lager aromas, because they are there, obviously. But yeah, it's got this sort of like slight berry quality to it. Has that slight almost Parma violet aroma. It's like slight floralness to it, almost like an old woman's sorry, I just completely lost my train of thought then. Like an old woman's perfume. It is quite perfumey for a lager. Sort of spicy tone. Almost getting something like a star anise or a clove or something along those lines. Or like a spice mix. That is really, really intriguing. I just, words are slightly failing me, to be honest. I do apologise. There's like a subtle lemony aroma. Very sort of citrus edge overall. A little bit of like a dried orange peel. Again, like the slight whiff of a Belgian wit beer with this. Yeah, it's very, very fragrant and perfumey. Flowery. Has that, speaking of flour, it's like bread crust with flour on it. And then there's like these aromas that I know what they are, but I just can't put my name on them because I've had something similar. Yeah, you do get that like just spirit character to it, if that makes sense. I know that's kind of a cop-out. But yeah, you could imagine like getting a shot of something and it's smelling like this. Albeit with a little bit of a crispy malt character. Biscuity. There is like a slight hoppiness about it. That's so odd. but I really, really like it actually. Anyway, let's see what it tastes like. Cheers. Don't murder me in the comments, but it tastes like it smells. I know that's such a dickish thing to say, but that's the first thing that popped into my head. Remarkably bitter on the back end, and it has this like warming sensation, not a burn, but like a slight alcohol sensation. Quite wheaty, perfumey once again. Has that slight, almost rosiness to it. Very crisp. It's clean, although quite chalky. I mean, you get that malty character you would expect from a lager. So I would say it is recognisable as being a lager. Excuse me. But the other flavours that are there, I mean, it's not like an outrageous tasting beer, but I've never had anything like this to really compare it to, so I'm actually at a loss for words, and my brain's just firing on all cylinders, even though it doesn't look like it at all. But when does it ever look like I'm firing on all cylinders? It's like a hint of coriander. I'm getting the feeling of a Belgian wit beer with this. Although that slight cloudiness, that almost orange peel, like loads of dried fruits, not really berries. There's like a slight tartness from what you'd expect from a berry, like a fresh, juicy berry. But not that sweetness. It's not a really sweet beer. It is quite grassy, herbaceous, floral. Yeah, it's an intriguing one for sure. And I don't know if I'm really enjoying this or if it's just a little bit too left field for me. But it's definitely a unique drinking experience, that's for sure. I think the concept of this beer was for like when you're out and about and you don't know whether you should stick with the beers or you want something that's going to warm you up a little bit, put some hairs on your chest. It's got that slight winteriness to it. Like, it's warming me up as I'm talking, and I don't think it's an alcohol sensation. I think it's just the blend of whatever's in Gammel Dansk is what's doing it. Yeah, that's an odd one for sure. But it is very thirst quenching. And yeah, this is going to be another long review. I do apologise, even though I've not really said too much about the beer at all. But oh well. Look at that head reinforced. Looks even cloudier, spongier, doesn't it? And yeah, that beer's sort of gone a little bit murkier now, but there's no little bits or bobs or anything like that. That being said, putting it all in, it's kind of dulled down the flavours there now. Probably because I gave it a mix around and I'm getting quite a bit of that head every time I take a sip. Yeah, it's got Belgian qualities to it. And I can't shake that idea of a wit beer, even though I know it doesn't feel like a wit beer. It just has these slight, like salady, spicy tones to it, like white pepper, coriander, dried fruits, the rinds of dried fruits, potpourri, old women's perfume, but with like the crispness, and it's strangely refreshing as well. I mean, of course, if, you know, I think Danish drinkers would appreciate this a hell of a lot more than I would, and people who enjoyed the spirits from around the world. They'd get a lot more out of it than I am. But as a beer, drinking it, it's definitely got me interested in giving the Gammel Dansk a try. And that's what I like about Mikkeller a lot, is just some of their beers are really left field. And sometimes, it might not work. But this, I don't know. I don't know what I'd give it. So in terms of rating, I do apologise about this review, by the way. In terms of a rating then for Mikkeller's Gammel Dansk, because it's intriguing, it slightly reminded me of the collaboration beer that I had between Yankee und Kraut, Pirate Brew Berlin, and Freigeist Beer Kultur, which was like it's like a cocktail beer with like eucalyptus and all these weird and wonderful flavours. It's got that spirit about it. Not like spirit as in like it's full of spunk, blah blah blah, that sort of spirit. Like spirit as if you could imagine taking shots of this, or having like a nice little thimble of it and just slowly going through it on a cold winter's evening. And again, it's warming me up as it's going down. So yeah, in terms of a rating then, we'll get there in the end. I'm going to give Gammel Dansk from Mikkeller a 7 out of 10. I'd try it again. Don't know if it's completely for me. Maybe if I get to try the spirit that's being used, Gammel Dansk, or something similar, and revisit it at some point, that could make for an interesting review. But yeah, another intriguing beer from Mikkeller. Not completely to my tastes, but I don't dislike it, if that makes sense. So if you've tried this, or indeed Gammel Dansk itself, you could do a drinking game of how many times I say Gammel Dansk. Good for Christmas. So if you've tried this one, let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. If you've tried the actual spirit itself, then give me your thoughts and opinions on that. Are you a fan of Mikkeller? What's some of your favourite Mikkeller beers? If you've been interested by any of the Mikkeller beers that I've reviewed on the channel, click that referral link down below to get yourself a nice box of beer to try. And yeah, if any of my friends and fellow beer tubers have reviewed this one, their reviews will be included. Check out my Mikkeller playlist, check out my lager playlist, and more importantly, I hope you'll join me next time for what should be a much more condensed and shorter review. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I shall hopefully see you all later. Cheers.